your time. Take your time. Why are you rushing? Don't you know when you're rushing, you're actually in the space of being anxious? You are. And what did God say about being anxious? He said, be anxious for nothing, but in everything, by prayer, supplication, and thanksgiving, let your petition be made known. You can't be rushing over there. That's the enemy's way of telling you to doubt, telling you to fear, making you think that you're going to miss out on something, making you think that you're not going to receive what belongs to you. And we all know that's a lie, because when God has promised you a thing, it's yours. Can't nobody take it and snatch it from you when God has ordained it to be in your life. God said, what he has blessed, no man can curse it. It cannot be reversed. You just got to stay in that space to know that God has redeemed the time for you. God said everything works together for the good of those that love him. So when you love God, you're abiding in God and his word abiding in you, whatever you ask, it's going to be given. Which means what? It's working out for your good. So whenever time you get there, regardless of what the deadlines say, regardless of what man say, it's yours. You will receive it. So stop rushing. Look at Jesus. Don't y'all remember when Jesus raised Lazarus from the dead? How long was Lazarus dead? 4 days. Word had already been sent to Jesus that Lazarus was sick. Did Jesus rush? He said, I'm going to finish this what I have. Why did Jesus take his time? Because Jesus knew that time was working for him. Who controls the time? God does. So Jesus took his time. Jesus took his time. If Jesus was in rush mode, don't you know he would have invented the automobile during his time? He would have said, oh, we need some with wheels because I got work to do. I got work to do. We need to rush, rush, rush. Jesus didn't do that. He walked everywhere he went. He walked everywhere he went. And when word got to him about Lazarus, he took his time. He took his time. And when he got there, guess what? He was right on time. But man said what? Jesus, if you had gotten here when we asked you to get here, then my brother would be what? Still alive. What did Jesus say? Lazarus ain't dead. He just sleeping. That's it. Why? Because Jesus had already knew. He already knew what was up. That God had redeemed the time. That God was working on his side. That it's not by his might, nobody's power, but by God's spirit that working within him. Therefore, we're controlling the time and controlling death and life. So when Jesus finally got there and he had to hear all the riffraff, you missed the deadline, Jesus. Jesus, you missed the deadline. If you had got here when I called for you, then Lazarus would still be dead, would still be alive. And so Jesus just did one simple thing. He just spoke. He said, Lazarus, come forth. And that's exactly what happened. So take the example from Jesus that you're not supposed to rush. When you're rocking out with God. When you're abiding in God and his words abiding in you. Then you already know that everything works together for the good of you. Because you love God. That you'll always be right on time. That God is a time adjuster. God will make time work for you. He's redeemed it already, so it has to work for you. If they're saying the deadline was this, and God is saying it's yours, you better still put in that application. It's some of y'all that has given up on things because they said the deadline was over. They said, oh, the deadline was last year. The deadline was last month. The deadline was yesterday. If God has told you it belongs to you, you better still fill out that application. You better. Because God is the controller of time. God is the one that has put things in place of you. And like I told you, whatever God has blessed, can't nobody curse or reverse it. It belongs to you. It belongs to me. Yes, it belongs to you. You better start singing that song, It Belongs to Me. Yes, it belongs to you. It belongs to you. So don't rush. You don't have to be in rush mode. Because that's the way of the enemy getting you to miss steps. getting you to not hear God, getting you to not see God. God could be saying turn right, but when you're in rush mode, you'll make a left. God could say go up, but when you're in rush mode, you'll go down. You hear me? God would say talk to these people, but when you're rushing, you'll talk to somebody else. And you will cause delay in your life because you were rushing instead of praying. You were rushing instead of being in the space of what? Supplication. You were rushing instead of being in the space of what? Of thanksgiving. God said, be anxious for nothing, but in all things, in everything, by prayer, supplication, and thanksgiving, let your petition be made known. God hears you. Speak unto him his word and take your time. You'll be right on time. Even if the deadline said you should have been there 4 days ago. Trust me, that the enemy trying to tell you that you're going to miss the opportunity, that it's going to be dead, okay? Trust me, when you get there, it will come alive. Y'all get it, got it good? I hope so. But if you didn't get this thing, rewind and watch again. But in the meantime, in between time, if you take just a little bit of what I'm telling you and apply to your life to the best of your ability, you won't ever have to make a smile. Why? Because your smiles will always be genuine. Be blessed, stay blessed, be blessed, stay blessed, be blessed, stay blessed. Remember, take your time. Y'all know what's coming next. Ciao.